So imagine trying to water a really vast garden, but you are using a 130-foot hose that is just riddled with tiny leaks.
Right. By the end of it, you are just getting this sad little trickle.
Exactly. And for a long time, trying to send ultra-high-definition video across, say, a huge house or a commercial space felt exactly like that.
Yeah, because the signal just naturally degrades the further it travels.
But today, we're looking at a $199 piece of tech that, well, it essentially stops the leak. Welcome to today's deep dive, where we are digging into the specs for the SmartAVI HDS2P-V2-S two-port HDMI splitter.
It's quite a name, but our mission today is to figure out how this little box takes a pristine 4K video stream and just perfectly duplicates it to two displays.
Right, without losing a single pixel of quality. So whether you are wiring up a home theater or you're just, fascinated by how sports bars get 50 TVs perfectly synced, this deep dive is your shortcut to understanding AV distribution.
And to really get how it clones a signal so flawlessly, we have to look at the actual bandwidth this device is handling. I mean, it is pushing 10.2 gigabits per second.
Which is a massive amount of data.
Oh, absolutely. It needs that for 4K resolution, full 3D, and heavy digital audio formats like DTS HD.
Okay.
And the really crucial detail here is that it achieves all of this entirely through hardware.
Wait, entirely? So there is no software layer managing the video at all?
Nope, none. And that is what is so fascinating here. It is a pure hardware solution.
Okay, hang on though. 10.2 gigabits is a ton of data. If it is pure hardware with no software managing the flow, how is that signal not degrading over distance?
Well,
Because if I run an HDMI cord 50 feet, it's just like that leaky hose we talked about. The picture gets fuzzy or it drops out entirely.
right, but it's actually more like having an active water pump halfway down the line.
Oh, okay.
Instead of just letting the pressure die out, this hardware actively intercepts the data. In AV terms, this is called retiming.
Retiming.
Yeah, so because HDMI is digital, it's really just sending ones and zeros. Over long cable runs, those electronic pulses physically blur together.
Ah, so the receiving TV gets confused because it literally can't tell what is a 1 and what is a 0.
Exactly. But retiming means the splitter actually reads that blurry incoming signal, figures out the intended ones and zeros, and then generates a brand new, perfectly sharp signal.
Wait, really? It generates a new signal.
Yes, at full power to send down the output cable.
Oh, wow, that makes total sense. So
Yeah.
it is not just splitting the signal, it's rebuilding it from scratch.
Precisely.
And the specs say it uses standard AWG26 HDMI cables, which, I mean, that is basically just your average, everyday, thicker copper wire, right?
Yep, standard off-the-shelf cables.
Yet it can take an input from 50 feet away and push the rebuild output another 80 feet.
Meaning you get 130 feet of total distance with absolute zero latency.
Zero latency.
Because there is no operating system buffering the data or, running background updates, the transmission is instantaneous and lossless.
Man, when you realize you can blast a perfect 4K signal 130 feet using pure hardware, it completely changes the math on how you build out an expansive commercial space.
It really does. And knowing it can push data flawlessly like that leads us to who actually utilizes this tech on a grander scale.
Right, because our source for this isn't just an isolated product page.
No, it is from HDTVSupply. And they have been in the business for 25 years with over 10,000 positive reviews.
Which is wild.
It is, and looking at their wider catalog shows you the natural evolution of this technology. You start with this simple two-port splitter, but if we connect this to the bigger picture, the underlying logic scales up.
To what
To
exactly?
what they call Wolfpack matrix switchers. Those massive setups can route video to 160 different screens.
That is incredible. It's like this $199 box is just a single Lego block.
Exactly, yeah.
Once you understand how one piece intercepts, retimes, and routes a signal without dropping quality, you can easily see how engineers snap hundreds of these blocks together.
To build those sprawling 160-screen sports bar empires, right?
Yeah.
Because the underlying physics just do not change.
So as a listener, you now understand the hardware mechanics required to perfectly clone and sustain an ultra-high-definition video signal over long distances.
It really does give you a different perspective on the hidden architecture powering the multi-screen displays you walk past every single day.
It completely changes how I look at them, honestly.
Yeah.
And it leaves me thinking about the future.
How so?
Well, if a relatively inexpensive pure hardware setup can instantly rebuild and route 10.2 gigabits of data across 130 feet of standard copper wire, how might future hardware-only AV solutions reshape things?
That's a good question.
Right. Imagine seamlessly routing fully immersive virtual reality environments across large physical spaces, instantly. With zero latency, the tech behind this little box might just be the blueprint for how we build the next reality.